east and will continue to lift off to the north. Very heavy rain in Edgewood, Wills Point, Lake Tawakoni State Park getting some very heavy rain. This particular supercell looks like it will stay to the east of there. So those folks in Emory, make sure you got an eye on the sky and make sure you're prepared. Go ahead and do the things you need to do right now to make sure that as the storm approaches you, you can quickly seek shelter. Dallas, Fort Worth, we don't have any thunderstorms, but in Collin County and Grayson County, we're seeing a few showers, even perhaps back on into Cook and Denton counties. This is not necessarily severe, but it wouldn't surprise me if this cell going up near Sherman and south of Sherman could end up producing a little bit of hail. That is most likely going to be along or just behind the cold front. Let's go to Scott Gordon. He is with some of the folks that were in the path of this storm. Go ahead, Scott.
Rick, we're here on Highway 64 just to the west of Canton. You can see all the flashing lights behind me. They've got the highway shut down right here. We're seeing numerous power lines down, trees uprooted, lots of damage here, windows blown out of houses. We're here with Guadalupe and Shantae, and this is Dudley. You guys were inside your house when this hit. What happened?
It was just loud winds. It got really dark, and just everything was getting thrown at the house.
And Guadalupe, you were saying you were actually outside looking at the tornado when it approached. What did you see?
So like also it was like all dark. It was like a train noise. It was really loud.
It's scary.
It was scary.
You guys are okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Is there much damage to your house? Your house is right over here. I see all these tree limbs down. There's power lines here. We have to be very careful, obviously. But your house looks mostly intact here.
Yeah, the house was fine. There's no damage to the house, but a lot of tree branches down, and power lines.
What was it like when it actually hit, when the tornado hit here?
It's hard to explain. It was really loud. But he had us in the hallway, but it was like you could feel the wind coming inside the house. It was bad.
And where were you at the time?
And I was standing at the door, and he told us to run because he was outside looking at it, and then we had to rush into the hospital the hallway, and he had us in the hallway covering us, but it was really bad.
All right, well, take a deep breath. You guys are okay. Thank goodness. Thank you so much. Be careful of the power lines right there. All right, well, that's the situation here, Rick. We're just starting to get our first views of some of the damage here. Take a look at this tree, just completely uprooted. This is the bottom of the tree. You can see the top of it up there as it crashed into the pole. Quite a scene here, and we're just starting to see the extent of the damage here, Rick.
All right, Scott, thanks. So appreciative that those folks were safe at this point. Do have a new tornado warning. This is going to be southwest of Canton. New tornado warning being issued. Okay, so here's one. Here's the new one that has just been issued. Here's Canton. All right, so we're going to look in this area for what may be a new developing tornado. This is probably going to be to the south of 243, or maybe this is it. Maybe this could be it right along 243. It looks like it might be.
That's probably pretty close to. It's probably this one right here. However, it's not very definitive.
It looks broad.
Yes, it looks pretty broad at this point, but we'll watch it.
It looks pretty broad, but again, if you're west of Canton, new tornado warning has been issued, and that'll be moving off to the north. Very heavy rain in that area right now. So again, if you're in the path of any storm that is, even if it has a severe thunderstorm warning on it, doesn't have to be a tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm warning, you have to respect those and make sure you seek shelter. David, go ahead.
Yeah, just getting reports in Fruitvale. The emergency manager there says that there was a tornado touchdown in the city of Fruitvale, and the fire department there reporting plywood falling from the sky at FM 779 and US 69. So that's the one north of Canton going up through Fruitvale. If we can pan off to the north there, you can see that did cause significant damage because they have plywood falling from the sky.
And that's the debris ball. Okay, that's the radar seeing all of this debris that is being lofted high into the air, and the radar picks it up. And as David said, some of these pieces are, pieces of plywood. Yes, Brian, go ahead.
something you said earlier and kind of glossed over, but it's worth noting that the radar is picking this up, and it can't determine whether it's a rain or if it's debris, but it is going to lag a little bit behind
so
the tornado. So the actual tornado itself is probably on the far northern nose of this, so it is going to be a bit farther north from where you see the debris ball.
And that means it's about to move into Rains County. So those
Here's
of you
the border.
in Rains, right there is the river, is the boundary between the county. So that's going to be heading northward up towards Emory, assuming this circulation holds together, and it has been doing so for a good hour and a half.
It's been a long track supercell thunderstorm. We're going to track this off to the north, 6:54 right now. Now, coming up at 7, we're going to continue our coverage, but we're going to do it online. So I want you to make sure that you download our NBC DFW app. We're going to stream it right there. We're going to stay live on the web and on our app. This will be in, and there you see, you can go, and it's free at the App Store. You make sure and download that. That way you can continue to track the severe weather. Now, if you have that and you end up in severe weather, then if you lose power, you still have the ability to be able to see our live stream. This will be affecting Emory at 7:12. So the tornado still chugging along. It is to the south of Emory, will be into the Emory area, 7:10, 7:11, 7:12, right around in there. Give yourself plenty of time to seek shelter. If you have to clean out the closet, do it now. Take the time to do it now so that you can get the family in there and safe. So right now, the worst of the storm has moved to the north of Fruitvale, about ready to move in to Rains County. And again, we'll put the storm track. This would be 7:11 coming into Emory, moving to the north at around 30 miles per hour. Again, that is still from our last report from the National Weather Service, a confirmed tornado. We have our classic hook echo. What you don't see as much of is the debris ball, and that may be just that it's out over open areas. It's no longer lofting pieces of plywood into the sky, but maybe tree branches, things of that nature. So again, Emory coming in a little bit after 7 o'clock, with the path of that thunderstorm right along and probably just east of Highway 19, and Emory's at the intersection of 19 and 69. This will stay well to the east of East Tawakoni and Lake Tawakoni State Park. Let's head a little farther to the south and look at that new tornado warning that was issued. Again, very heavy rain falling to the west of Canton right now. The tornado passed just on the east side of Canton and lifted across I-20, so rescue operations going on at that point. And they will probably be affected by this. Okay, make sure you download the NBC DFW app. We're going to continue this coverage on our website as well as on the app. We're going to go back to programming here at 7 o'clock. We'll have updates as needed, so stay with NBC5. We'll keep you ahead of the storm. Okay, folks, we are live here on the web. Hopefully you're watching us on the website or our NBC DFW app. If so, thank you very much. It's been a dangerous night for what has ended up being some fairly strong tornadoes, and we still have one that is ongoing to the south of Emory, and another tornado warning to the southwest of Canton. Briefly, let's talk about Dallas and Fort Worth, Brian. We have some showers that are popping up, probably some thunderstorms trying to develop in eastern sections of Dallas County. This will be from Seagoville to eastern sides of Mesquite. The leading edge of the cooler air has pushed across much of Dallas-Fort Worth, and therefore most of the Dallas-Fort Worth area is not at risk for any severe weather. The main risk is going to be farther to the east, where conditions are more favorable for the development of thunderstorms, and that's what we have going on right now. But right now, just brand new development near Seagoville, and then just to the east of Mesquite, approaching Heath and Rockwall. Nothing severe in this right now. As you go a little farther to the east, Brian, you'll see that the thunderstorms do get a little stronger from Lake Tawakoni State Park south towards Wills Point. That extends up to Point and Emory. And do we have, this looks like a tornado warning here, Brian. Is that that's for this one right here?
Warning for the one that is crossing over from Fruitvale and northern parts of Van Zandt County into southern Rains County.
So it's crossing the river right now. So it's still to the south of Emory, and the folks in the Emory area need to be taking your tornado precautions as this storm does approach and will likely be affecting you after 7 o'clock. We think we have it down to around 7:10, 7:12, right around in there. The last 15 minutes of motion show that storm lifting to the north, maintaining that classic hook echo. Okay, looks like a 6, and that's what we are seeing with that particular storm. There's the circulation just to the south of Emory, right along and just to the east of Texas Highway 19. Our other warning that we have to the southwest of Canton, here's Canton. Okay, and David, let's show. Okay. This is Highway 80 near Grand Saline. This was from Storm Tracker Sam Barraclough. And that is near the Grand Saline area. And that tornado passed west of Grand Saline. David, correct?
Yeah, that was, we need to double check with Sam on his exact location.
We think he's
west.
west
Of Grand Saline. This may be the Fruitvale tornado.
But that is a live picture, so you're seeing it as we are seeing it. I can't tell if off to the right, if there's perhaps a structure that was damaged. But that storm is farther to the north. Brian, what do you have?
Getting some information about some of the damage that took place may have included a fatality in one of the vehicles as well.
And when we get that verified, we'll pass that along. We get a lot of information. Let's go over to David Finfrock, because he's kind of got the big picture here. You'll be able to see what is happening.
Yeah, there is still a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. in all of this red shaded area. Notice that goes from Paris all the way down south of Palestine. It does not include Dallas, Tarrant, Denton, or Collin counties. All of the severe storms are going to stay east of us. And another little bit of good news, that solid line of severe thunderstorm warnings that earlier extended from Fort Smith, Arkansas, all the way down to Corsicana, most of those severe thunderstorm warnings have been allowed to expire. There are still a few up here in Oklahoma, one tornado warning east of McAllister, but the main concern is this one supercell here. There's actually been a cluster of them moving south to north, and those have been producing the tornadoes. Elsewhere, the storms have generally dropped below severe levels at the present time, but we do still have tornado warnings out in parts of western and northern Van Zandt County and just about all of Rains County. The biggest concern is that storm that moved north of Fruitvale, the same one that caused the tornado damage in Canton, widespread damage there on the east side of town, then moved up through Fruitvale, where we were getting reports of plywood falling from the sky. Now that's on a collision course with Rains County, heading right up towards Emory at the present time. We don't have confirmation that there is, at the moment, a tornado on the ground, but we should assume it is there because this storm has had a history of long track tornadoes. Let's get back over to Rick with, again, a closer look at those storms.
And we continue to kind of analyze what is happening. These are definitely the strongest thunderstorms that we have from just west of Cedar Creek Lake. 2 different tornado warnings, all right? The one from northwest of Grand Saline is the one approaching Emory. You can still see the hook on that right here. You see that? Okay. And so now it looks like it's a little farther to the east of Texas 19 and moving off to the north.
Truck.
This is live, guys. We're getting this live.
Get back in the vehicle.
This is Highway 80. Okay, this is where the tornado crossed Highway 80. That is live pictures. And folks, sometimes we don't have good conversation with our crews in the field, and so they may not know that they're on live. But that'll give you an idea. It showed an 18-wheeler turned over. We'll get back to that as soon as we can. But again, if you live in Emory or the outside areas, surrounding areas of Emory, take your tornado precautions. Get in that closet, get in the bathroom, all right? We heard from the National Weather Service there was a tornado still occurring in this area, and we still have the hook echo, the S-band radar showing it. This will be affecting Emory in about less than 5 minutes. Let's go 7:07. Especially if you live just to the east of Emory, get as low as you can and take as many precautions as you can until this passes on through your area. And there's going to be a lot of heavy rain. You may not see any tornado coming, so don't waste time trying to find it. Just seek that shelter right now. Get as low as you can and put those walls around you, as many as you can, and protect yourself with pillows and cushions, things like that. Don't panic. Get through this, and we'll continue to watch this particular cell. Again, this has been a long track supercell thunderstorm. When you get a chance, Brian, let's shoot a little farther southwest. Let's check out that other tornado warning. That one was west of Canton, and this one maybe a little more difficult to find. Right now, the rain is not falling terribly hard in Canton. They did have that tornado that passed just on the east side of Canton. I suspect it might be something in here.
There might be.
Or that's at least some strong winds in there.
There's definitely some strong winds, and these would be coming around. There might be a little bit of a rotation here along 243, but most of this appears to be more in the straight line direction.
David, you have an update on the storm that's coming into Emory.
Yeah, we're just taking a closer look at that, looking at the velocity displays and the motion around this storm. 67 miles per hour, one direction, what we call gate-to-gate shear, where we check two boxes side by side. 67 miles per hour in one direction, 62 miles per hour in the other, coming back towards the radar. So more than 120, 130 miles per hour shear in that area. One thing we have to be cautious about is that this is a good distance from the radar, so we're not really seeing what's happening right at ground level. We're seeing higher up into the storm. So no clear signal that that is what is happening at the ground, but certainly there is still a lot of very strong rotation, and there you can see it. I'll loop this, and you can see the motion moving right up there on the east side of Emory, pushing up towards Highway 69 at the present time. So those of you in Emory and just on the east side, as Rick has been pointing out, you should be undercover now. This is still a very, very dangerous situation.
Yeah, that's an impressive circulation. And as David said, it may not be right at the surface because the radar beam increases with height as it gets farther away from the radar site. But even at the mid-levels of that storm, having that rotation would be very impressive. A lot of lightning with these thunderstorms, as you can see. These storms are really electrified and producing a lot of rain as well. And what we believe is going to happen is that as we go deeper into the evening and as the severe weather threat wanes, perhaps even overnight, we're going to see areas that are going to see quite a bit of rain and perhaps some flash flood potential. Watching carefully the storms that are continuing to intensify, or at least the rain from Forney down to just to the north of Seagoville. We've got some showers south of Mesquite, just to the north of the Trinity River Audubon Center. Looks like a cell going up east of Garland. Some showers